I couldn't have predicted this if I'd tried, but Dr. Disrespect is making his own game studio. Yes, it all started back on his stream when his chat asked him what's in the folders, and he showed them, and it is these two different screenshots of his possible game that he's thinking of having. Now, this would be an example of his vertical BR, where essentially, he's spoken about it before, there's sort of a fire on the floor, and everyone starts near the bottom of a tower, and you have to get to the top to escape out of the exits up there. It's almost flipping the entire BR map on its side, which seems interesting to me, but it definitely seems more of a mouse-focused game, as console games and for controllers in general, they seem to want a more horizontal plane. They don't like looking up too much, and so an entire game based around it could have some problems, but it is not stopping Doc. And Dr. Disrespect actually does have a background in Call of Duty level design, so this isn't completely without experience. And honestly, I saw these pictures first and I just thought it was a PR stunt. All I've done, this background is incredibly high quality, but that's what all of Dr. Disrespect's backgrounds look like, and so I just thought he got the same artist to do a mock-up of a couple of images. And then it got a little bit more serious, because he tweeted out this, where he's actually hiring for someone to run a studio for him, and it looks like he's genuinely setting up an entirely new game studio, and it actually reads quite interesting. In partnership with Boom TV. Now Boom TV is sort of an esports organization from what I can gather, and they run various tournaments, including the Code Red one, which is the only one I've heard about. Esports really isn't my thing, it's not something I'm that interested in, but actually getting another company on board shows that he's pretty serious about this. And it seems like an interesting idea. Obviously, he's very well connected to various different streamers and YouTubers, and that can only come in handy when you really want to get a new game out to market, because you've got all that marketing power right there in the palm of your hands. And it looks like they're planning to either or both develop their own game and try and take on third-party indie developers and sort of take their games under their wing and help them along with the various different sort of influencers they can actually use. So it seems like an interesting idea, and we'll have to see where this goes. But this to me shows kind of the influence that streamers and YouTubers can actually have. You're going to have people that they just want to play games on Twitch, and that's all they want to do, and that's what they're happy doing. But then you're going to get a few people like him who see it more as a springboard to something else. They're always hungry for the next opportunity, and so I actually hope things like this take off. Game companies used to be run by gamers. They used to make games that they wanted to play, which is looking like this is what it is. He wants to make a BR. He likes the BR. He wants to make a game that, for him, doesn't exist. And that is how games always used to be, and that was when games were at their best. Before all the money came in, before everything turned into a major corporation, and before people started to take it as a career, just because there was money involved. That was when it started to go downhill, when you started to find people staring at balance sheets more than thinking, actually, that game doesn't exist, I'd quite like to play that. So if we can get more gamers on board, more people setting up studios who are actually gamers interested in making new original games, then that can only be a good thing for the gaming industry as far as I'm concerned. During an earnings call, it was actually announced that Activision Blizzard has lost half of their active user base in 4 years. And that sounds bad just when you say it, but nothing actually hits harder than a graph. Yeah, that is impressively awful. They are down to 2016 numbers. That was before all of their major successes like Overwatch and World of Warcraft Legions, all of which made it rise from 26 million to 46 million monthly active users. And the worst thing is, even when they were coming out with 2 different expansions for World of Warcraft, they were still losing players. During a lockdown. Literally everyone else made millions. All the rest of the people, their subscribers numbers went through the roof because everyone is locked at home. But when it comes to Blizzard, everyone is locked at home, not playing their games. In fact, if you actually look, you can even see around 2018, people are clearly waiting for the next expansion. It kind of levels off, they stop losing them, and then the moment the expansion hits, it drops off a cliff. And it's simply because it is crap. The content they've been making is crap. Blizzard is no longer the company it was, and it just doesn't produce the kind of level of games that it used to. And Overwatch is the perfect example of that, because it's just been leaked about that. The Overwatch 2 likely won't even be seen now till 2023. It's no wonder there was no actually mention of it at BlizzCon. It is nowhere near to being released. And it makes me wonder exactly what on earth they had on those first years, because it seems like when they announced it, they had nothing. Like, I don't know how they can make it this slower development, because quite frankly, it's just an expansion pack. It's not even a new game. There's nothing about it that looks like a new game. All they're doing is a seasonal event and expanding upon it. So is it any wonder that they're losing people? They've lost all of those Overwatch players they've gained, and everybody I talk to just seems to despise World of Warcraft at this point. It's too dumbed down, it's too slow, it's too boring. It's so boring that they had to release their original classic game. If that's not an admission of defeat, then I don't know what is. And this is all before all of the recent allegations and the lawsuit and everything else that came out about Blizzard. This is a company which has already had most of its nails in the coffin, and the lawsuits just keep hammering more in there. At this point, we really have to ask if Blizzard will ever recover from this. Because they need a massive hit, they need a huge win. And with games on the horizon like New World, that will only carry on making a dent in the World of Warcraft player numbers. It doesn't even matter if what you think of New World and whether you think it's an amazing game or not. This is literally something just taking advantage of a company which seems to be on its knees, and it seems to be unable to recover. For whatever reason, the quality that they're producing it's just not there anymore. I really don't think that in the future Blizzard will carry any of the name, the recognition, or the respect that it used to, even just a few years ago. And Blizzard is running out of chances. They don't have too many games left, too many IPs left to plunder. With Overwatch out of the window, their last chance could well be this. We've just had the Diablo II beta announced along with the dates, and the early access starts in just a couple of days on August the 13th to the 16th, and then the open beta will be on August 20th to 22nd, and it'll finally launch on September 23rd. And even with this, you've got various different censorship which happened because, oh my god, one of the characters has a skimpy costume. Heaven forbid. But it does have a couple of new features. It's got a druid, which is a new class, and a paladin, which is a new class, and these will be in the beta for you to try out. And it's also going to feature Act 1 and Act 2. And I remember when I played Diablo 2, it was the early acts which are actually my favorite. So I replayed Act 1 so many times on different characters. It was probably insane. I just reached a point where I'm like, bored now, I'll restart, do something else. So this base is probably good for me. Although at this point, I just have to wonder, do we really have to keep remaking games? Is this really where we want to be? Like, seriously, can't we come up with a new game? It's just, this to me reeks of just, we have nothing else. We don't know what to do, so we're releasing WoW Classic with a new Diablo 2. We'll just remake anything we can back in the glory days of when we used to make quality content. I don't know, it just feels desperate. All the remakes, it's like the movies just constantly redoing the same thing over and over again isn't a sign that you're a healthy studio with a lot of ideas in there. And so I'm sure if you're a Diablo fan, this is awesome. If you love Diablo 2, this is great. It's just, for me, I kind of expect more from a massive studio. Like, yeah, remake your games with slightly improved graphics if you really want, but you should have some big games, you should have new names, you should be driving things forward with new content. And Blizzard just, they seem like a zombie studio desperately trying to hang on to their glory days, re-releasing them because no one likes their new stuff and they're just constantly hemorrhaging players. It just seems on a downward decline, and on it, they might actually desperately need the new leadership, which is coming in from the lawsuit. For whatever reason they needed to resign, they clearly need new blood. They clearly need new people in charge, and honestly, you need to make these developers get the content out of the door faster. If Overwatch 2 isn't going to be until 2023, and it's not even a new game, it's just an expansion pack, then seriously, what are you even doing over there? But for now, that's it from me. If you like the video, press like and subscribe down below, and let me know what you think in the comments of Dr. Disrespect's new studio. Would you be excited for a Dr. Disrespect BR? What do you think of Blizzard? Do they stand a chance? Are you happy to play Diablo 2? I don't know. Let me know your thoughts. But for now, that's it from me, and see you in the next one. Bye-bye.